Hello and welcome to UK versus bringing you theories, news and more, win, lose or draw. And I've got a grand archive theory today. We've had the Asphodel Paradise trailer drop, we got the lore drop, we've got introduced to a few of the other characters throughout the video that dropped during the Nationals in North America, and everything's kind of been ringing a little bit similar. And there's been a lot of discourse in all of the discords. I mean, I am absolutely amazed with how much theorizing and speculation and how much people are reading into this that I've been taking part myself. And one of the big things that we kind of come across here was the theme of Asphodel Paradise. We've got Dante, we've got Virgil, we have Picard. These are all characters that have been confirmed to be part of the story of Asphodel Paradise, taking part within the City of Dis and Dis Corp. And although this does ring true with other Devil May Cry-esque characters, I think that Weebs of the Show are actually going to be going more on the lines of Dante's Inferno and the Divine Comedy. Why do I think this? Well, because of what has happened in the setup of this lore drop. The Crimson Veil dropped on May 11th and was immediately picked up by the community. Everyone read it and people were theorizing on it and people drew the Devil May Cry aspects. But there's just a couple of things here with me that rides into a little bit more with the heavenly comedy. I do want to have a little bit of a talk about the theories around what Dante is going to do as well, but I'll do that towards the end, because, I want to talk about it. So, in the Dante's Inferno, the Heavenly Comedy, it is one of the most well-known pieces of fiction out there. It has been portrayed, parodied, and given homages in pretty much all aspects of media. It's part of the hero's journey, comes from the Heavenly Comedy. And the story we have here is very similar. Dante has a disease that's destroying their body, and Virgil is looking for a cure. Virgil has joined Discorp to help find a cure, and Virgil is able to kind of mitigate the symptoms of this disease just with their presence and preventing Dante from going berserk. In order to help Dante, Virgil wants to take him through Discorp. And one of the very cool things that we do get in the Crimson Veil is that each of the districts are kind of reminiscent to their Hell Dante's Inferno counterparts. And I think we're going to see Virgil and Dante throughout the Asphodel Paradise set taking this journey in healing Dante, which will line up with Picard and Lorraine and the rest of our champions trying to restore Asphodel Paradise, or Asphodel means morality, means morning. So it's purgatory, which is all part of the Dante's Inferno. This is so deep, it's so very, very cool. And the whole journey to restore what was lost, to restore Asphodel, to restore Dante, all kind of match up. And I think what we hear from this story is Virgil is going to take Dante through the layers of Discorp to help him. And similar to the story of the Divine Comedy, Virgil will be lost in this. Virgil will either die or be taken away, and Dante will have to continue his redemption, his cure, by himself. Whether this be through design of Discorp or just how it plays out, Virgil and Dante have got this very cool relationship. History will say they were roommates, but it's great to see this kind of setup. And we even have the very cool biker chick, which has had their name confirmed as Picard. And Picard is in Dante's Inferno. She is part of the heavenly the heavenly circles. She was a heavenly person who had to sacrifice her vows because her brother put into a political marriage. And the reason she was being punished, essentially on the lowest level of heaven, was because she didn't resist that political marriage enough. And that could be something that factors into this Asphodel Paradise cell. She could have been in a position to stop the ley lines being redirected. She could have been in a position to help the crops and the villages and the people outside of the Tower of Dis, where, just similar to the layers of hell, Picada lives outside of that on the moon layer in the moon ring of heaven. We could be seeing this kind of allegory for the villages being purgatory, the city of Dis being the layers of hell, and as Dante and Virgil travel through the layers of Discorp, as they travel through the layers of hell, they'll be tested as they try to purify Dante's body. And it all lines up because Virgil had made that trip before. He had traveled through the layers of hell and to the gates of purgatory before, and Dante hadn't, because Dante was still alive. And we're seeing here that Virgil works for Discorp, so has made the trip, has gone through Discorp before, is going to be able to guide Dante and help Dante. And they're going to come across into a situation where, for Dante to get better, for Dante to gain control over this disease and improve the body, he's going to have to leave Virgil behind, or Virgil may die in the case, because we find out that Virgil is one of the people that is able to control the disease and keep Virgil from going berserk as he uses his Exia powers. And while we see Dante going on this journey through Discorp, we could either end up with Dante meeting up with Lorraine and Picada in Purgatory, in the heavenly realms outside of the city of Dis, in continuing to kind of improve themselves, or we could see them working on the outside, looking to improve and infiltrate the city of Dis themselves, in order to bring the Leylands back, to bring life back to this purgatory existence that Discorp has kind of siphoned off and killed from the goddess of harmonious songs. It would make sense, kind of thing, if Picada was a cleric of Harmonia and had a treacherous history with her, and could have been even one of the people that taught the city of Dis how to siphon her gifts into this. I don't know. This entire situation has been out for 4 days at the time of recording, and I have been deep diving into Dante's Inferno. I've reread this lore drop for the Crimson Veil a few times, and it's just been great seeing everyone on Discord chatting about this. I think the entire story of Asphodel Paradise is going to be the hero's journey for both Lorraine and Dante. I've said it again, Virgil will be lost throughout this because it's part of the story. But whether Purgatory can actually be restored, we will find out when the lore drops. As for what Dante actually does, we know from his starter decks that he's an Exia Hemomancer. He's a mage, he's a blood mage, and blood mages are very cool, and Exia is such a great way to utilize that, because Exia is all about self-damage, as we've seen with Jin. So utilizing self-damage in a mage is going to be really interesting, because mages don't like to utilize allies. So Dante needs to have a toolkit to protect themselves with no real reliance on allies. And I think a great piece of this is put in the lore drop itself, is that when Dante manipulates the Exia of the people he is restraining, he is able to drain the Exia out of others, only enough to restrain them, but that could be a recover mechanic. We've seen on the pixelated box art that he does have a reserve and rest cost, and that could be something that allows them to heal, to recover some of the health that they've lost. I think this is going to be a very cool situation of Dante will become berserk the closer they are to losing, and will become more reckless. But in the early to mid game, there's going to be a lot of back and forth and a lot of good recovery healing mechanics. And personally, I think it's going to be something to do with when he hit or kills an ally, an enemy ally or enemy champion, he's going to recover health. It's going to be kind of like the siphoning stab, but as a mechanic. And then on top of that, it's going to be very cool to see how this gets done. I don't know. I feel like I've just been sat here ranting at the screen about things people have already worked out. This is my first Grand Archive theory. I don't know enough about the game's history to know if the game is even this deep. Yeah, I'm very excited. I'm very excited for Dante. I'm very excited for a Blood Mage kind of self damage to power up Exium Mage, and how they're going to balance that with the not just immediately dying at level 1, and then on top of that, the hero's journey of the Divine Comedy, the fact we have Virgil and Picada and Dante, and it all lines up that he resides in this multi-district metal tower, so very similar to the Heavenly Comedy's descent through the layers of hell to bring Dante back, to redeem Dante and wash away the sins, and essentially revitalize and recover Dante, which is what Virgil's trying to do here. Wants to bring him into Discord to heal and recover and make him better. The parallels are too well drawn, and I'm really excited to see where the next lore drop goes. Let me know, am I just absolutely chatting bubbles? Should I go get my tinfoil crown that I usually have for Universes theories? Or are we onto something here? Is this something that you had drawn in yourself, that the parallels between Dante's Inferno and the Heavenly Comedy and what was dropped in the Crimson Veil, the parallels between the characters and what is being set up as their journey in comparison to the Divine Comedy? And do you think that Dante is the key to revitalizing Purgatory of Grand Archive, or will it fall to the flagship Lorraine, or possibly both of them, to work together to bring peace to Purgatory and help with the morning of Paradise, aka Asphodel Paradise? Let me know what you guys think in comments below. Let me know if you think I'm bang on, or if I'm just chatting bubbles. And if you want to be kept up to date with all my theories, news or more, win, lose or draw, then hit subscribe and keep it with UK Versus. Bye.